Hi everyone, good evening. I hope you are all ready to learn something new this evening. So, thank you again for joining a version of the Revenue Stream Pro Edition. So, this evening we're talking about something that's a bit technical, but I hope you guys will stay tuned because what we really want to do is to really talk about yung basics of technical analysis. Right? So before we even start and before we bring in our guests, right? And you've seen the posters, I really think this is going to be a fun night. Before all of that, right? I want to make sure that you guys understand what we're here to talk about. So when we talk about stocks and crypto, maraming mga tanong on ano ba yung mga dapat mo i-consider. And obviously, there are many ways to consider how you're gonna trade or invest in these equities or these coins. Now, how we think about them may vary from person to person, but there's really two broad themes on how you think about these two kinds of investments, right? Or assets. So you have fundamental analysis, which is more taking a look into the underlying performance and the prospects of that company or that coin, for example. But on the other side of it is really looking at the technical side of it, looking at trends, and looking at historical patterns to understand ano ba yung mga pwedeng mangyari and as much as possible, try to predict what can happen in the future. Right? Obviously, those two approaches, no matter how good you are not really guaranteed ways to earn money, right? So no one can really predict the future because if kaya natin gawin yun, then we'll all be super rich, right? So just take that as a preamble before we start, right? All of these are for educational purposes. None of this is financial advice. Both Enzo and I don't know your personal finance status. So please make sure that you also do your due diligence before you invest in any of these assets. Again, all of these are for illustrative, more educational purposes only. Right? So, if you're new here, I'm PPE and I actually have the channel of the Preso Pro episodes. If you haven't found your way already in the stream, we're gonna utilize the YouTube live chat. So if you are on your mobile phone, it will be at the bottom of the screen. If you are on a desktop, it will be on the right side most likely. So just find the live chat and say hi. I saw a few people already saying hello. So good that you found the live chat already. We'll use that for you guys to interact with us. So we want this to be an educational session as well, right? So hanapin nyo lang yon. And then also, while you're here, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel so that you are able to see notifications pop up when we upload new videos or we have more sessions like this. Okay. So hopefully with that out of the way, let me introduce our guest. So he is Enzo Cagampan. He is the man behind Gagamba Trader Philippines. He's actually an independent equity fund manager. And while he's very young, I actually came to know that he's also had his own share of experiences, and that's what Enzo will really bring us through today. And hopefully, all of you guys learn a thing or two about technical analysis, including me, because I am no expert in technical analysis as well. So, without further ado, I will bring Enzo in. Hi, Enzo. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, guys.
Hello,
Hello.
hello. Okay. So, very
Right.
exciting, Enzo, right? I think some people are very excited already, right? So, Carlo is very excited, I know. And I also see a lot of people na nag-hi na. So, good guys, you found the chat. So, gagamitin natin to. Later on, I am fairly sure you have a lot of questions coming our way. We'll start, right? So, Enzo, we're gonna do this in two phases, right? As we talk. One is we're gonna have Enzo talk us through the basic concept. Actually, sabi nga natin, parang crash course sa technical analysis, right? So, we're gonna try to cover as much ground as we can in the next maybe hour. And then towards the end, which is part two, we're gonna open fire Q&A. So, ask those questions that you have, right? So, Enzo, thank you again for saying yes to me, and shout out to Earl for linking us both. And he's here, and I saw him in the chat. So thanks, Earl, for setting up the connect. But thank you for saying yes and spending time with all of us to share your experience.
Walang problema, Sir Philip. Basta makatulong sa kapwa. Ganun yun eh.
Ayan. Yun yung gusto
Ganun
ko.
yun eh.
Ayan. It's in the
Ganun yun eh.
spirit of teaching others what we know, right? Okay, sige. So, guys, I hope you are excited, you are comfortable, you are safe wherever you are. So, we're gonna dive right in. So, Enzo, I'm gonna bring up the PDF. So, take it away.
Hi guys, so, teka, first of all, very sorry. Kunin ko lang yung charger ko ng
Okay, go,
laptop.
go,
Sorry.
go.
Okay.
Okay, we don't want his computer dying on us. So, guys, if hindi niyo pa nahanap yung live chat, just try to find it. It's gonna be on the right-hand side or in the bottom of your screen. Ayan, I hope you are
Yan.
plugged in.
Okay na
Okay,
po.
hey,
Sorry, sorry.
no problem.
Alright. Alright, sige. So, first of all, hi guys. My name is Enzo Cagampan, also known as Gagamba Trader in the trading community here in the Philippines. And I also run a page just like Sir Philip. And sa ngayon, I have around like 4,000 followers. So, solid, di ba? Kaka-start ko lang nung page like January 2020 and it's really been a fruitful experience until now. So, uh, yeah, just keep moving forward. Mag-share lang ako parati ng mga insights and knowledge ko with regards to technical analysis. So, anyhow, pakilala ko rin yung sarili ko. So, basically, I'm a finance student back in De La Salle University, Manila. And I just graduated back in November 2020. And as of now, I'm an independent private equities fund manager. So, sa madaling sabi, nag-manage lang ako ng family funds. Right? And yeah, I'm currently trading in the global market. So, mainly what I'm trading is the US stock market and commodities right now. Pero like a few weeks ago, cryptocurrency, kaso alam na natin kung ano nangyari doon. And I used to trade Forex, pero konti lang. So basically, ang pinaka bread and butter na asset ko rather is US stocks. So that's all. Okay. Next po. Alright, so ito lang yung investing trading timeline ko. Noong mga 2017, naglagay ako ng bear sa treasury bonds. I just really wanted to feel ba kung paano maging isang ganap na investor. Kasi investment tool din kasi yan. And of course, gusto din ako UITF ng 2018. Tapos nung mga late 2018, doon ako nag-aral na with regards to the stock market, technical analysis, ganyan. And mga 2019, doon ako nag-start mag-trade ng PSE. And isang taon po ako na sa PSE. And noong 2020, mga around February 2020, nag-fully transition na ako to the global markets. So basically, more than 12 months na akong wala sa Philippines. Right? Bakit? Kasi I just really believe and alam ko naman talaga, based on facts, based on data, na yung opportunities mas fruitful sa global markets because the global markets has the US stock market, forex, commodities, cryptocurrency. Literally, 24/7, there's an opportunity to trade. So, yeah, the global markets is the key. Anyway, next slide po. So, I just got into details na kagad. I won't be explaining what a stock is. I won't be explaining what a coin is. Ganyan. Direct to the point na. I'm going to be explaining na agad yung two sides of the coin when it comes to navigating this space. So basically, meron po tayong tinatawag na fundamental analysis and technical analysis. Wherein ang fundamental analysis is catered for investors wherein ito ay nag-examine ng mga related economic and financial factors. So basically, sinusuri natin yung balance sheet, income statement, maganda ba sales niya, maganda ba revenues, maganda ba PE ratio niya, etc. etc. So ganun yung sa madaling sabi kung paano magsuri ng fundamental analysts, kung paano sila magsuri. So with that being said, and yeah, it's really catered to investors. Pero kasi ang siguro maisip kong con when it comes to fundamental analysis is mas catered lang talaga siya to to stocks kasi wala namang sales sa coins. Wala namang revenue sa forex, 'di ba? Something like that. So, tayo as traders, so ito na yung pinaka magiging meat ng ating presentation. Technical analysis, yun ang ginagamit ng mga traders. So, Yun nga, yung fundamental analysis for investors, for mga long term. Yung mga technical analysts naman is mga pang short to medium term. So basically, ang tinitingnan lang natin is yung chart, price, tapos yung volume niya, price behavior, etc. to arrive at better trading decisions. So next slide po. So basically, ito yung itsura ng chart. Alright, so it's gonna be really daunting at first. Para makita niyo, ano yan? Anong klaseng chart yan? Di ba? Ano to, mga pang Wall Street, ganyan-ganyan. So anyhow, yeah, it's gonna be really daunting, but I'll help explain it naman properly. So anyhow, as you can see dyan sa taas, kung nakita niyo yung arrow dyan, it says price. Yung mga nagmumukhang candles, that is price. On the other hand, yung nasa baba, yung mukhang bar chart, that's called volume. So yeah, familiarize yourself lang muna, guys. Tapos I think we can move on na. All right, so how do you read candlesticks? There's four components in a candlestick. Eh. So there's an open, close, high, and low. So in the context of the Philippine stock market, since ayun nga, ang audience natin is more on the Philippine landscape, kumbaga. So for instance, 9:30 ng umaga kasi nag-open yung Philippines. And as of now kasi hanggang 1 o'clock na lang. Pero nilagay ko dito 3:30 kasi dati ganun yung schedule. And probably magre-revert back yun. Pero I think more than 1 year na ring 9:30 to 1 p.m. ang PSE eh. Anyhow. So, sabihin natin 9:30 ng umaga, nagbukas na yung PSE. And for instance, this stock nagbukas at 1 peso. So kung ano yung presyo na lalabas at 9:30 in the morning on the dot, yun ang magde-display sa open. As you can see dyan sa picture natin ngayon. And yung close naman, so sa example natin 3:30 p.m. Pagkapatak ng 3:30 p.m., kung ano man yung presyo, on the dot, yun ang ilalagay sa close. So for instance, dito sa green candle na example natin, sabihin natin ang open dyan is 1 peso at 9:30 in the morning. Tapos, pagka-end ng market at 3:30 in the afternoon, naging 1.1 pesos. Alright? So yung open and close, yun yung mga stagnant kumbaga. Yung 9:30, ito yung price, 3:30, ito yung price. Pero yung high and low, nagdedepende yan. Hindi siya dependent sa oras. Right? So it doesn't matter if, for instance, in this green candle na example natin, it doesn't matter na kunyari, sabihin natin nag 1.15 pesos at 10:30, at 11 o'clock, at 11:30. It doesn't matter. As long as ito yung pinaka-high na tinuktok nung stock na yun. Same goes with sa low ng candle. So, next slide please. Alright, medyo nakakalito talaga siya at first, pero ito yung candlestick conversion na picture, tapos ito, mas may explain ko ng maayos. Alright, so may kita nyo dito, open. Sabihin natin yung example natin, 1 peso. Kita natin yung open, 1 peso. Tapos sabihin natin nag-low ng 0.98 cents at around 10:30 in the morning. Right? Again, yung low, it doesn't matter kung 10:30, 11:30, 12, it doesn't matter. Basta yun ang pinaka-low na nirating for the day nung stock na yun or nung asset na yun. So again, open 1 peso. Sabihin natin nag-low, 98 cents. O sabihin natin at ng mga 12:30, naging, di pala 12:30, naging, let's say 1:30, naging 1.05 cents. O hindi pa naman siya yung high kasi di pa yun yung highest na tinuktok eh. Pero sabihin natin na before mag-close at 3 p.m., nag 1.15 pesos. So magde-display siya dyan sa high. Tapos sabihin natin pagkapatak ng close, example ko kanina, 1.1 pesos. So ganun po yung candlestick conversion. Kasi before, bago po siya gawin ng mga Japanese, kasi mga Japanese yung nag-construct na itong candlestick na concept eh. Before siya ginawa, ang itsura ng charts is like that. So you're gonna see 4 variables or more variables in just one day. So mas nakakalito siyang basahin. So with regards to kunyari, ang naka-display sa chart mo is naka-candlestick na, it's easier to read already. So kung nakita nyo, sa previous slide may candle din na pula. And may kita nyo dun kanina, Sir Philip, pwede po pakiback. May kita nyo na yung open and close magkaiba. It makes sense, di ba? Green candle, open, 1 peso. Close, 1.1 pesos. Di ba? Pero syempre, kapag red, ibig sabihin nyo, open, mas mataas kaysa sa close. Makes sense, right? 1 peso, nag-close, 95 cents. So, ganun yung concept niya kung bakit iba yung open and close sa green and red candle. So, I hope na-gets po natin lahat and address na lang po natin lahat ng questions nyo sa end ng presentation na ito. So, sige po, Sir Philip. Yeah, all right. So, assumptions of technical analysis. So, the first one is that the market discounts everything, right? At any given time, all available information, such as news, political events, global happenings, etc., will reflect on a stock's price. So, again, ha? Di ba? Medyo nakakalito eh. Anong sinabi ko? Sobrang technical naman. Let me explain. All right. So, next slide, please. Ayan, ang concept of price din is also related to yung the market discounts everything. So again, when information is already obvious, stock prices tend to move oppositely. And not only stocks, but other assets as well. So next slide, please. All right, example. Holcim Philippines. Ito yung isang stock sa Philippines and isa sa mga cement companies here locally. At ang alam ko yung katunggali niya talaga is si Cemex Holdings Philippines. Anyhow, ito yung chart niya dati. Tapos, kita nyo sa araw na yan, it was rumored that Holcim will be acquired by Ayala. Biglang umakyat yung stock. Rumor. Tapos, may kita nyo, umakyat lang siya ng umakyat. Tapos, nakikita nyo yung next arrow dyan. By the time of the official disclosure, the stock's uptrend was exhausted because the news is already priced in. Yung news, nilabas na, nag-halt na yung price. Ang labo. Bakit ganun? Di ba nga, pag lumabas yung news, good news, dapat
Kasi sure.
maganda na yung kalabasan. Sure na dapat, di ba? Pero that's not the case in trading or in investing. Kaya dito po pasok yung buy the rumor, sell the news. So again, tinan nyo, nung nagka-rumor, umakyat yung price. Tapos nung nilabas yung news, ano nangyari? Nag-consolidate lang siya, meaning sideways movement, as you can see here. And actually, di ko na napakita yung chart next niyan. Bumagsak pa yan si Holcim after a few months. So, ako medyo nakakalito pa at first, but meron pa ako isa pang example. Sige po. Another one is ISM. Alam niyo yan guys, si ISM, si Ditto. So back in the day, ISM ang pangalan niya. Ngayon, Ditto Telecom. Si Dennis Uy. Yan. Anyhow, dito sa circle na yan, ni rumor ng ISM ay magiging third telco in the Philippines. Rumor. Ano nangyari? Umakyat yung price. Sobrang lakas ng move nito. Tapos, yun nga lang, nung lumabas na official na magiging third telco ang ISM or ang DETO, bumagsak yung price. As you can see dito, nung umakyat siya, it was around 4 pesos until 8 pesos. 100% in what? 2 weeks. Pero, nung nilabas yung news, di ko alam kung maniniwala kayo sa akin guys, di ba 8 pesos yan? Nag-low pa yan ng 1 pesos. Literal, 1 pesos. Bumagsak pa na 1 piso yan guys. So, nakakalito, di ba? Bakit ganun? Good news na nga, pero bumagsak pa rin. So, ito yung explanation dyan. Sa rumor pa lang kasi, yung mga institutions na malalaki yung pera, syempre, obviously, yung mga nakagalaw lang kasi ng mga stocks, ng coins, ng other assets, is yung mga whales, yung mga balyena, yung mga maraming pera, di ba? Sa rumor pa lang, yung mga institutions, nagsisilibilihan na yung mga yan. Of course, they're also one of the accelerants kung ba't umakit yung price. Of course, kasi binobombahan nila yung stock. Eh. So, sa rumor pa lang, bumibili na sila. Tapos, kapag magre-release na yung news, doon na, nagsisibentahan na sila ng shares nila. Bakit? Okay, magiging harsh ako guys. So, huwag kayong ma-hurt or anything. Nagbebentahan sila sa mga uto-uto na nakita na, uy, good news. Bili na nga ako kasi ibig sabihin nun, baka maging tenfold na yung pera ko. So yung mga tao na bibili pa lang sa pag-release ng news, maraming bibili pa nun. So ginagawa ng institutions, ina-unload na nila agad yung shares nila para mas mabilis mabenta. Ay, meron nga akong kakilala nakabili siya sa 8 pesos. So, yeah. Tapos umawat pa ng piso. So, tighati.
Pero pag ganyan, Enzo, so like for example, as you said that, right? I think we were giving examples na dahil sa rumor. May actually good question from Earl. So I want to ask this now, right? So tayo, na hindi tayo institutions, right? Wala naman tayo. So nakikinig lang tayo. Malamang pag dumating sa atin yung rumor, medyo huli na yun kasi hindi naman tayo privy to some of those conversations or maybe circles. So, how do you actually catch those rumors as a trader? For example, is it a community or paano nyo ba natutunugan yun?
Well, actually, swertihan na lang eh. Minsan may mga friend, di ba, may syempre may circle of friends ka na traders na may mga sari-sariling community na nag-snowball effect, ganyan. Minsan, nagkakalat na lang yan eh. Uy, di ba, rumor to, mag-third telco na daw si,
Okay.
si ISM ganito, ganyan. Pero in my case, sa mga rumors, kasi nakasali ako sa group na Invest Trading Community, which is the only trading group that I'm in. Tapos usually may mga little birds doon eh. Nagsasabi na, uy, parang may ganitong chismis ganito, ganyan. Of course, wala namang assurance doon.
Mm.
But then again, you'll actually see it at price eh.
Mm.
'Di ba? Actually, kahit naman wala kang pakinggan ng news or anything, may kita mo na agad eh through technical analysis na umakyat na siya, bumababa na siya, etc. So yeah, yung rumors, yeah, medyo mahirap siyang makuha rather. Pero yung official news, napakadali na lang.
Correct.
Accessible na sa lahat eh. 'Di ba?
Yes.
So I hope I answered your question, Boss Earl. But anyway, sige, next slide.
Okay.
Alright, ito yung pinaka very, very recent Dogecoin, 'di ba? Isa sa mga winners ko na coin ito eh. Anyway, kita nyo dito sa below siya mag 0.08 cents, umakyat siya. Alright. Tapos nag sideways movement siya. Tapos may kita nyo sa green na arrow, rumored SNL skit of Elon Musk. Rumored. Tapos ano nangyari? Umakyat yung presyo ng Dogecoin. Pero, dami kong friend na baguhan pa sa crypto. Lahat sila nag-aabang ng SNL skit ni Elon Musk at the time. Sabi nila, alright, pag nilabas na tong skit ni Elon Musk, magbobomba na ako ng milyones. Ganyan. Tapos sabi ko, guys, sobrang naman yan. Sobrang debate naman yan. Di niyo ba alam yung buy the rumor, sell the news? Well, pwede rin naman. Kasi pwede rin naman na yun ang maging case. Pero most likely kasi, buy the rumor, sell the news case siya. Sabi ko, hinay-hinay muna kayo. Check nyo muna yung price. Diba? And as expected, nung pagkalabas ng skit, bumagsak yung Doge. And as of this date, mga around 70% na yung binagsak niya or more. So yeah, ganun yung concept of buy the rumor, sell the news, and I hope klaro yun sa inyo. So anyhow, next slide. So isa pang concept ng technical analysis rather is price moves and trends. So merong uptrend, may downtrend, and may sideways. So basically there's just 3 trends. So next slide please. So as you can see, this is House Holdings. This is one of a stock dito sa Philippines na nagbibigay ng mga bahay or nagbebenta ng mga bahay rather. And as you can see dito, wala nang drawing, wala nang special na indicators dyan or whatnot. Kita naman natin, it's an uptrend. Alright? Next slide po. As you can see here, Petron Corporation, one of the biggest corporations here in the Philippines, who's been trading for so long na. Kita nyo dito, since 2017, bagsak pa rin siya. Right? Downtrend. Wala nang drawing. It looks like a downtrend. So next slide. This one's Nickel Asia. And as you can see, ang movement nito is sideways. But you can argue na at first, sa medyo 1/4 ng chart na yan, may pataas. Sa 2/4, may pababa, may pataas, ganyan. But in the bigger picture, we can all agree that's a sideways movement. Right? Next slide. And of course, another example of an uptrend, si Tesla, ang kumpanya ni Elon Musk. So again, wala nang drawing. Looks like an uptrend. And of course, this is a commodity called sugar, literal asukal. By the way, commodities, if hindi kayo familiar, tradable na mga parang necessities siya. Kumbaga, kunyari gold, silver, pwede pong i-trade yan. So pwede ka mag-trade ng gold, pwede ka mag-trade ng silver, pwede ka mag-trade ng lumber, pwede ka mag-trade ng sugar, cotton, heating oil, gas, corn, kettle, coffee. Wild, right? Sobrang wild. So in this case, sugar. Literal, asukal. Downtrend. Alright? Sige, next slide po. And UPS, yung LBC ng US. So you can see this is a sideways movement. Right? Alright. Next slide po. Alright. History repeats itself. Okay? In general, people tend to react to the same kind of events in similar manner. Thus, patterns form in the buying and selling behavior of the market participants. So this is kind of related with the buy the rumors, sell the news. As you can see, yung ISM na example ko, that was 4 years ago
Mm.
or 3 years ago. The Stinray Holcim, that was 2 to 3 years ago. Doge, a few weeks ago. History repeats itself, lalo na in trading or investing in the stock market or any other financial markets, as long as tao ang nag-ooperate, right? Kasi actually, nakabasa na ako ng libro before na 1940s by Jesse Livermore. Kung ano man yung mga concepts na binibigay niya, very applicable pa rin ngayon. Bakit? Kasi hanggat sa tao ang nag-ooperate sa mga financial markets, history repeats itself parate. Ganun po talaga. Kasi may mga emotions yung mga tao eh. Pero siguro, maybe in 100 years, pag nagka-robots na, baka iba na yung case. But till then, history repeats itself dito. So, another concept with regards to technical analysis is the concept of support and resistance. So basically, given a time, a stock will be able to establish significant highs and lows, forming what they call a trading range. Right? So next slide po. Yeah, it's literally a battle of supply and demand. All right, so ang support signifies demand. Ang resistance signifies supply. So as you can see here sa first trading range natin, may kita natin na price is going sideways. And may kita nyo sa baba, kada bounce niya dun sa levels na yan, kada bounce niya sa baba, kada bounce niya sa support, umaakyat yung presyo. Bakit? Kasi ang concept dyan is, oh guys, the price is already cheap. It's time to buy. Ganun yung concept ng buying sa support. Kaya siya umaakyat. And may kita nyo si resistance, kada yung price, umaakyat siya sa tip na yan, inuuntog. Nare-resist siya literal, kaya word itself. Bakit? Ano yung point of view dyan? Guys, masyado nang mahal yung stock na to or yung coin na to. It's time to sell. So, ganun yung concept ng resistance. Pero, mayroon tayong tinatawag na supported resistance switch. And in the case na yung price, mag-breach siya above resistance, yung resistance na yun, yung old resistance, it will act as the new support. As you can see here, di ba? Umakyat yung price, na breach niya yung resistance. After that, yung old resistance served as the new support here in the next trading range. So, ang concept dyan is, pag yung price nag-breach above resistance, oo nga guys, the stock, the coin, the commodity, yeah, it is expensive. But it can go more expensive. Yun ang point of view doon. Alright? So, as you can see dito sa support, nag-bounce yung presyo, tapos yung resistance, inuuntog siya. So, ganun po yung concept ng support and resistance switch. And wait lang po, inom lang po ako water. Sakit na nalalamunan ko.
Go lang. Right. Pero I think, guys, what you can see here is that may mga ranges talaga where the patterns form. And so I think that's what's the point you're also trying to drive, right? And this one, when we say na parang, oh guys, mahal siya or mura, is really the market achieving a consensus, right? Meaning, yung general funds or like participants into the trade, medyo nag-agree tayo na okay, ito yung price na medyo mahal na, so hindi na tayo lalagpas dito. Is that the right way to think about it?
Yes, that's correct po. And actually, I have more examples moving forward para mas maintindihan pa ng mga audience natin. Alright. Sige po. Again, yeah, price near support, demand increases. Alright, next slide po. Yeah, and then price nears resistance, of course, supply increases. Alright. As you can see here, Metro Pacific Investments Corporation, one of the blue chips here in the Philippines. Nakikita natin yung red line as the support and yung blue line as the resistance. And as you can see, kada bagsak niya sa support, nag-bounce siya, umaakyat yung presyo. And kada untog niya sa resistance, nire-resist siya. And if you're just simply buying support, selling at resistance, makikita yung range niya, 30% din ang difference na. So that's one of the strategies in trading the financial markets. So anyhow, next slide please. This is Vitarich, small medium cap stock here in the Philippines. Makikita natin yung support yung red, yung blue yung resistance. Makikita natin dito yung support. Kada yung price nag-reach doon, nag-bounce yung presyo pataas. And kada yung price nag-reach sa resistance, parati na lang siyang sinasalpak. Alright. So, tama rin po yung yung sinabi ni Sir Philip na yun nga, ito yung general consensus yan ng mga market participants. Kasi pwede rin kasi na, tingin ko nga, ito na yung support, bili ako, pero bumagsak pa. Diba?
Ah.
Pwede rin ganun. Ganun po talaga sa markets. Unfortunately, hindi siya certain. It's all about probabilities talaga. So, anyhow, moving on. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na kapag yung price, nag-breach siya above resistance. Ang tawag dun ay breakout. Right? Breakouts usually lead to big moves. And this is actually my favorite setup, breakouts. So as you can see here, for example, si Spotify, it is a US stock and I believe everyone uses Spotify. As you can see dito, nag-form siya ng trading range. And may kita nyo, nag-form siya ng support sa baba, ng resistance sa taas. Tapos, nung nag-breakout na siya, again, pag yung price nag-break above resistance, breakout. So anyway, nung nag-breakout na siya, after 2 to 3 weeks, nag-yield siya ng mga 35% gain. Tama ba yan? 35%. Maliit eh. Anyway, 35%. Solid, di ba? So next slide po. The next one is Roblox. This is actually one of my market leaders right now. So, nagpapasalamat ako sa lahat ng bata naglalaro ng Roblox. Anyhow, as you can see here, nag-breakout siya sa resistance. Nag-breakout as in a few weeks, 30% gain. Right? Next slide, please. And this one's Dillard's, DDS. Well, stock stock lang, stock lang. anyhow. Oo nga, stock lang po guys. Nakita natin, nag-breakout siya sa resistance. Tapos, tinan nyo ulit, nag-trading range ulit siya. And as you can see, old resistance, naging new support to. Tinan nyo. Di ba? Guys, nangyari lang yan a few weeks ago. So again, history repeats itself.
Pero
Nagkuha
Enzo,
siya ng trading range again.
before you
Oh,
move forward, right? I think what's behind this, kasi pinapakita mo sa amin historical, right? So makikita natin yung trend. I think ang question ko is, how far ba do you look at na ma-establish mo na ito na siguro yung trading range for this period? So parang for example, do you look at 1 month, 2 weeks? Ano ba yun? Kasi this chart can be extended for different
yeah.
periods, right? So how do you look at that?
It's really subjective for traders. Actually, there are people na who looks at trading ranges in minutes lang. Minutes chart. May iba sa hourly chart lang, mga a few hours lang na candles. Yung iba sa 1 month, ganyan. Actually, ang maganda kasi is, meron kasing saying sa Wall Street na the bigger the base, the higher in space. Base meaning trading range. So, the more na mas mahaba yung trading range natin, the more na mas magiging powerful yung kanyang breakout. So, ganun yung yung parang concept niya. So, parang isipin natin na na vulkan siya, na nagtitiis na nag-stay siya na ganyan, na nagtitiis siyang sumabog. So, the more na nagtitiis siya sumabog for let's say like 5 years, 100 years, ang lakas ng sabog niyan kapag when the time comes. So, ganun yung same concept with regards to trading in the financial markets. So, in this case, this stock is actually, apologies, di ko masyado chinek, pero February, March, April, mga around 3 to 4 months din siyang nag-trading range. So, ang lakas ng breakout niyan tuloy. Nung nag-breakout niya, halos mga 30% gain agad siya in one candle lang. 30% na agad ang inakyat. So, ganun siya, guys. So, may mga cases na merong trading range na let's say 1 week old lang. Tapos pag nag-breakout, usually nag-fail yan. Minsan, bumabalik. Pero, of course, it's all about probabilities in the market. May mga time na minsan nga 5 days lang na candles, tapos nag-breakout, sobrang lakas. Ganun talaga. Pero yun nga, again, the bigger the base, the higher in space. So, guys, keep that in mind. Anyhow, sige, next slide po. Okay, WBT, well built. Anyhow, nung nag-breakout ito, ganun din. 30% ang gain. Right? In just one day, guys. And ito, AMC. Diyos ko, sobrang lakas nito. In one day, guys, 100% gain ang inakyat niya. Yeah. And unfortunately, di ko nakuha. Kaya, siguro kaya umakyat na mataas kasi di ko nakuha. Ganun yun eh.
Yun minsan yung dahilan.
Yun yung dahilan eh.
I think, Enzo, yung question is, like, typically, as a fundamentalist before, like, for the longest time, right? Typically, I believe na parang may mga specific things that happen in real life that sort of drives this, right? But when you said
Yeah.
earlier na actually, minsan, hindi naman talaga ganun, right? So actually, yung question ni Earl is, meron ba talagang mga events na nagda-drive nung breakout in price? Meaning, if nag-establish siya ng trading range, ano ba yung nag-trigger sa kanya na bigla siyang papalo or bigla siyang sasabog na lang? Right? And how do you think about that?
Well, ako kasi in my case, sa maniwala kayo sa hindi, I barely check the news.
Uh,
Bakit? Kasi nakaka-bias eh. So what I really do is I really check price. And there's no one way to predict kung kailan magpe-predict yung ano eh. Sorry. There's
can,
no way to predict kung kailan mag-break out yung
mm,
stock. Right? So, for instance, let's see, itong si Bitcoin right now, trading below 40,000. Only God knows kailan ba babalik ulit sa 50,000, 60,000. Who knows? Next week? Tomorrow?
mm,
Next year? In 2 years? Who knows, right? But as traders kasi, ang medyo kasi common na misconception is trading ay nakakapag-predict ka ng mga ng next na moves. Pero ang reality is hindi. You're going to have to react to those moves. So for instance, let's say nakakita ko ng isang trading range, nag-aabang ako kung kailan na mag-breakout. And if mag-breakout na siya, may kita mo naman sa price habang nag-open na yung market. Kung mag-breakout na siya, doon na ako mag-formulate ng trading plan ko. Right? Kung saan ako papasok, tapos kung pumasok ako, saan ako mag-cut, saan ako mag-take profit, ganyan. So again, there's no way to predict talaga. Even if you use Elliott waves, by the way, Elliott waves is an advanced technical analysis na strategy. Yun kasi medyo tama, medyo may pagka-prediction siya ng prices using a lot of indicators and such. Even if you use that, there's really no way to 100% predict the markets. Right?
correct.
Again, yun nga, sabi ni Sir Philip sa introduction natin, if na-predict natin 100% yung market, then damn, lahat na tayo dapat mayaman na, di ba?
Correct. Yes. And I
Real
think
talk lang, guys. Real talk.
very
Right?
good point yun, Enzo. No? I think
Mm.
that's maybe one of the biggest misconceptions na even in technical analysis, hindi pa rin siya guaranteed. And that's why I think
Yes.
you are hearing answers na it depends, kailangan mo siyang i-track. And I
Yeah.
think over time, medyo nagiging mas sensitive ka to these movements versus the untrained eye like mine. So for example, feeling ko kahit yung data nandyan na sa harap ko, if you don't know these patterns and these concepts, right, medyo mahirap siyang saluin. So I think
Yes.
maganda yung pagkakasabi mo kanina na you don't actually predict it because only God knows nga naman talaga kung anong mangyayari bukas, right? Pero what you do is you do react to the movements based on historical patterns na nakita mo na before. And that's
Mm.
why medyo at some point you're able to hopefully like more times than missing you're
Mhm.
hopefully trying to see kung ano ba yung strategy mo for that specific trade, for that specific asset.
Yes. Yes, that's true. And also, syempre, it took me time din to really train my eyes to really spot the market leaders. Kasi syempre after this webinar, di naman ibig sabihin after nyo mapanood to, magiging master traders na kayo. Kasi kahit naman ako, newbie lang naman po ako. I've been trading only for 2 years. And siguro, na-train ko yung eyes ko talaga, siguro 1.5 years.
Hmm.
Tapos araw-araw yun, araw-araw ako nag-chart. I always check like hundreds of charts every day just to train my eyes. So, ganoon talaga eh. All things good, ano talaga eh, will always be difficult, right? And trading itself, this space is really difficult actually. Akala ko rin nung pagkapasok ko in navigating the markets, akala ko ang dali lang eh. Yung pala hindi. It's really difficult. So, yeah, ganoon lang naman. And itong AMC, kaya siya umakyat kasi it's kind of similar to GameStop.
Yeah.
Yung mga Reddit guys, pa-pump nila yung price tapos may mga institutions na naka-short. So, ang mangyayari, kapag na-close na mga institutions yung shorts nila, babomba yung price. Actually, medyo mahirap i-explain. Sorry. Dapat pala di ko na-explain. Basta, mahirap i-explain ko ba't umakyat yung AMC. It's another story to tell and hindi na siya sakop ng basics ng technical analysis. So,
Sige.
yeah, yun lang. Alright, next slide po. Ito, Haven, Golden Bria Holdings. Alright, ito yung business ni Villar. Ano to eh, mga sementeryo. Tapos, wait, nakakatawa to eh. Ang rason daw, ang rumor talaga, hindi man rumor, pero nag-breakout kasi to nung mga parang first few years ni Duterte. First year, second year niya. Tapos ang laganap ng yeah, ang laganap ng drug war. So, yeah, nagka-demand sa sementeryo.
Okay, okay, okay. No joke.
Alright,
Pwede nga yun.
yeah, and as you can see,
Oh,
nag-breakout siya,
wow.
2,300% gain. 2,300% gain in what? In a few months, 1 year. Kasi naka-monthly chart eh. So, breakouts are my favorite trading setup. Yun talaga yung favorite trading setup ko. Breakout. And ito, yung pinakasikat, si GameStop. As you can see dito, in a few weeks, 2,000% gain. Again, kung bakit umakyat ito, it's very complicated kung bakit. Basically, sa madaling sabi, GameStop and AMC, ba't sila umakyat? Wala, mga clowns lang ang nagpaakyat nito. Yun lang. In a nutshell, okay? So yeah, that's the case for GameStop. And I'll be explaining ng mas maayos yung support and resistance switch. And meron na tayong actual example here, unlike before na diagram lang. Alright, EI. Uh, ito yung isang stock ng Philippines that develops buildings, I guess. Kasi I remember back when I was in De La Salle University, Manila, sila yung nag-develop ng Torre. Torre 1, Torre 2, Torre 3 na buildings ng mga condo for students. Anyhow, so as you can see dito, sa first na trading range natin, may nag-form na support and resistance dyan. Support na sa baba and yung resistance highlighted there, nasa taas. And as you can see, nag-breakout. Nung pagka-breakout, umakyat ng konti, nauntog, bumagsak. May kita natin yung price here. Yung old resistance turned to new support. Tinry pa siyang saluhin nung old resistance turned to new support kaso nag-fail. Bumagsak. Tapos afterwards, nagkaroon ng trading range sa baba at nag-breakout ulit. And as you can see, old resistance sa dating trading range re-establish itself as the new resistance ulit. Tapos nakita natin dito, nag-breakout ulit. Tapos yung old resistance, naging new support na naman. Tapos, as you can see dito, yung gumawa ng bagong trading range, nagsusupport na siya dyan. Right? Tapos nag-breakout na naman, umakyat. Naalala nyo yung kanina, di ba? Yung old resistance dyan sa taas. Yan na naman. Nauntog siya ng konti, nag-trading range ulit, tapos nag-breakout, old resistance, naging new support, so on and so forth. That's the beauty of technical analysis, guys. So basically, ang price, it doesn't just go up. Parating may pause, parating may pullback, ika nga nila, parating may drop. Hindi lang yan pataas na pataas. Hindi lang siya to the moon na isang linggo 10,000% gain na kagad. Hindi siya ganun. So anyhow, another example, CVUL, one of the stocks here in the Philippines. It is a mining corporation here. As you can see dito, nagkaroon ng isa pang trading range. Support sa baba, resistance sa taas, nag-break, old resistance, turn to new support, gumawa na naman ng trading range, breakout, old resistance, turn to new support, gumawa na naman ng trading range, breakout, so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's really beautiful. Alright, so kanina, ina-explain ko sa inyo yung price breaks above resistance, that's what's called a breakout. Pero, meron din tinatawag na breakdown. Babaliktad. Pag yung price nag-break below support. So, as you can see dito, si Jollibee, hindi ito dahil sa tuwalya. Matagal na to eh. Mga February 2019, 300 pesos. As you can see, nag-support siya at around 300, tapos nag-breakdown, tapos nagtuluyan na siya ng bumaba, at yung pinaka-low nito was March 2020, naging 98 pesos pa siya. Right? And actually, I don't know what Jollibee price is right now because again, I haven't been trading the Philippine Stock Exchange in so long. So, hindi na ako nag-check doon. Anyhow, next slide please. Or the example is, ito matagal na to. Noong mga panahong $9,000 pa ang Bitcoin. Alright, as you can see dito, nagkaroon ng trading range, but nag-breakdown siya sa support, tapos tumuloy-tuloy siyang bumaba. And yung binaba ni Bitcoin nung March 2020 is around $3,000. So, ayun. So, syempre, genius ka kung nakabili ka
Kung
sa
nakabili ka
3,000, di
nun
ba?
at nag-hold
Oo.
ka.
Kaso syempre, at the time, mahirap kasi, there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of
Yeah,
people really bearish. So, yung mga merong balls of steel lang yung nakakuha. And
correct.
I know a few lang. Only a few. Kasi who would have known, di ba? Na yun na yung bottom. But
Naabot
anyhow,
pala siya ng 60,000, no?
yeah, yun na nga. And who would have known na yun na pala yung bottom, 3,000.
Correct.
Kasi pwede rin kasi pag bili niya ng 3,000, mag 1,000 pa eh.
Correct.
Diba? So like that. Anyway, cocoa, right? Again, it's a commodity. Yung pinanggagawa ng tsokolate. So, as you can see dito, gumawa siya ng trading range. Tapos, nag-breakdown siya sa support. Tapos yun, bumagsak na ng
Tuloy-tuloy
tuluyan.
na siya.
So, next. So, there two summaries lang naman, guys. So, two levels where we should buy a stock is at support or a breakout. And yung next naman is the two levels where we should sell a stock is sa resistance o kaya sa breakdown. Alright, next slide. Alright, so dito na tayo sa second half ng ating presentation. So wait lang, I'll just drink some water.
Okay. So, while Enzo drinks water, right? So, I hope na nasusundan nyo pa. Basically, may movements in that asset, right? So, I think I'm trying to oversimplify this, Enzo. So, sabihan mo ako, nagkakamali na ako. Right? But basically, the
Okay.
concept is there are price patterns na nabubuo over time, and those sort of form through the human behavior, right? Kung paano tayo nag-react to certain stimulus in the market, ano ba yung consensus ng general market. Now, obviously, again, sorry na paulit-ulit to, even if you look at those trends, right, there are a lot of different scenarios na pwedeng mangyari. Pwedeng feeling natin nag-establish siya ng support, pero hindi pa pala yun yung support, right? And for those who are trading in cryptos for the last few weeks, diba? Akala mo nung bumagsak siya ng 50% at one point, akala mo yun na yung pinaka-support niya. A few days after, bumagsak pa siya lalo. So, those can really happen. And also, the inverse can also happen, right? Yung feeling mo sobrang taas na niya, and so nagbenta ka na, i.e., for example, like, ito, personal example, I bought Bitcoin at 18,000 mga November, December. So, nung umabot siya ng mga 36,000, sobrang tuwang-tuwa na ako kasi double your money na yun, right? And that was just a few weeks. Hindi ko naman nakalain na aabot pala siya ng 50 plus to 60,000 na range pa. So there could also be those cases where feeling mo yun na yung resistance, pero may i-break out pa pala siya. So I think what Enzo is saying is that those are like the buy and sell points, and the next portion of the presentation really talks about ano ba yung mga pwede mong gamiting indicators to sort of figure what those points are.
Yes, that's correct. And also, hopefully everyone's taking down notes kasi guys, dediretso ko na kayo. Itong presentation natin, literally, I'm explaining it in like less than 1 hour. Isang libro to. Literal. Isang libro na kinrash course ko in 1 hour. So, siguro magiging medyo heavy for some. Pero obviously, may Q&A portion naman tayo mamaya. And feel free to ask me questions naman po. So anyway, actually guys, when it comes to like yung mga breakout, buy and support, etc. Alam niyo guys, para hindi na sumakit yung ulo nyo, wag nyo lang isipin, bakit kaya umakyat to? Ano kaya yung reason ba't umakyat to? Well, ako sa opinion ko to since I'm a trader, technical analysis lang talaga tinitignan ko. And literally, sa maniwala ko yung sa hindi, I barely check news. Really, I barely check news. Titingnan ko lang yung price. So pag nag-breakout, oh, solid. And kita ko naman na bread and butter setup ko siya, bibili ako. Tapos minsan, malalaman ko na lang na pala na, kaya pala umakyat si Roblox kasi ganito, ganyan. Actually, di ko rin alam kung ba't umakyat si Roblox eh. Legit, I don't know why. Pero hawak ko pa rin. Diba? Bakit? Kasi through technical analysis. Hindi na ako nag-stress kung ba't umakyat, ganyan-ganyan. Bahala. Hindi ko na problema yun. Parang ganun. Para lang mas simplihan yung buhay natin. Again, that's just my opinion. Again, as a trader, kasi technical analysis yung fine-favor ko vis-a-vis fundamental analysis. Pero kapag investor, syempre, gusto nila nalalaman ano yung nag-drive nito, etc., etc. So, for example, Bitcoin. Ano ba fundamentals ng Bitcoin? Right? I mean, literally, what? Right? Fortunately, nakakuha ko at around $12,000 before. Tapos yun, hinawakan ko lang. Tapos bakit? Technicals. Ba't umakyat? I'm actually not sure. Until now.
Sweet.
Seriously. Until now. Siguro lang bakit. Siguro, ewan ko. Legit Legit talaga. Di ko alam bakit. Pero, ganun yung beauty ng technical analysis eh. You can use it to trade a lot of assets. You can use it to trade stocks, commodities, forex, crypto. Eh kung fundamentals lang, stocks lang. Wala namang PE ratio sa crypto, right? Wala namang sales yun, wala namang yan, right? Wala namang kung ano-ano pang ratios, etc. sa other assets. So, yun ang reason ba't talaga fini-favor ko yung technical analysis. But again, it's not really for everyone.
Yeah.
Because yung time frame nito is probably not for everyone in a sense na kunyari busy sila sa work, etc. But actually, meron akong segment yan sa slides later. I-touch upon ko yan. So, anyway, I think lahat naka-rest na ng utak kasi kanina siguro maraming napiga. And marami na piga and I tried my best naman po to simplify things. So right now, indicators. All right. Basically, ang mga indicators is mga extra tools lang siya to help you navigate the financial markets. So madaling sabi, it's just an additional tool to help you assess whether or not the stock or a certain asset is of worthy of your money, right? So anyway, excuse me. So, one of the most common indicators sa technical analysis is volume. As you can see, nung sa pinaka first few slides ko, yung volume is yung nasa baba ng price, yung mukhang bar chart. Volume is the amount of shares being traded over a time period. So next slide please. So, it actually makes sense na kapag yung presyo tumataas, volume should increase, right? It makes sense. Bakit? Kasi the more na umakyat yung presyo, obviously, the more na marami nag-pump ng presyo na yun, the more na may inflow yung pera. The more na may inflow ng pera sa stock na yun. So for instance, Meralco, ikita natin dito, umakyat siya, umakyat yung price, umakyat din yung volume. Makes sense. Umakyat yung price, sa second, umakyat din yung volume. Pangatlo, umakyat yung price, umakyat din yung volume. Sa pang-apat, umakyat yung price, umakyat din yung volume. Again, it makes sense kasi nga, umakyat lang naman kasi ang stock kapag may inflow siya ng maraming pera. Right? Alright. Second, in a pullback, volume should decrease as price retraces. Pullback means kapag, let's say, nag-breakout, tapos bumalik siya ulit sa old resistance turn to new support. Yun ang tawag dun, pullback. Kasi retrace meaning, actually, synonyms lang yan. Iniba ko lang yung wording para lang hindi nakakalito. So, retrace, pullback, meaning lang nun is yung presyo bumalik sa old resistance turn to new support. Kasi you could see dito si Bitcoin back in, what's the price, Sir Philip? Ano to, mga 12,000 ba to?
200.
Oh, wow. Back in the day, guys. Back in the day. So, as you can see dito, nung nag-breakout siya, nag-pull back pa siya. And as you can see, nung nag-decrease yung price, of course, bumalik siya sa old resistance to new support, yung volume sa baba, as you can see sa arrow dyan, yung volume, wala masyadong activity. Which is ideal. Alright? Kasi, ang pangit kasi kapag yung price bumaba, tapos yung volume nag-increase. And I'll explain later. So basically, kapag nag-pullback, dapat yung volume, mababa lang. Alright, next slide please. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, na pangit kapag pababa yung price, tapos umakit yung volume. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, marami nagsisibentahan. Right? Make sense? Again, recap ko lang kasi medyo nakakalito. Yung number one, dapat yung volume umaakyat, tapos yung price umaakyat. Number two, kapag nag-pullback, dapat yung volume sakto lang. Hindi siya, walang mga spikes or whatnot. Kasi pangit na indication nun. And itong number three, in a downtrend, heavy volume validates the trend. As you can see dito, diba, ISM kanina 8 pesos siya. Ito na yung start ng talagang downtrend niya eh. Hanggang sa nagpiso level siya. So makikita natin dito, pababa siya na pababa. Tapos makikita mo yung volume, pataas siya ng pataas. Ibig sabihin nun, marami nagsisibentahan. Maraming pera na umaalis. Kaya siya bumabagsak. Number 4. Heavy volume must be present on a breakout. Again, it makes sense, right? Kasi kapag nag-breakout yung stock, kapag umakyat yung stock, dapat yung volume mag-follow din. So ito rin yung isa sa mga indications na ito yung isa sa mga things na tinitingnan ko bago ko bilhin yung asset na yan. So let's say nag-consolidate siya ng matagal, tapos nag-breakout, tapos nakita ko yung volume mataas, i-consider ko na yan, bibilhin ko na yan. Ganun. So next. Tapos high volume amid selling spree may indicate the bottom. So mga ano to mga million dollar na secrets to guys, the joke lang. Anyway, so ganito. Picture out natin Stock nag-downtrend. Benta, 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 benta. Tapos nagkaroon siya ng isang candle na wala masyadong activity, tapos nagkaroon ng volume spike. Ang indication nan is may mga institutions na nagbobodega na. Yeah. Of course, it doesn't happen all the time. May times na, like, there was a stock called Tech before na ganyan ang pinakita. Tapos bumili ako kasi, oh shit, sorry. Oh no. Ano na pala, nagbobodega na yung mga institutions. Baka ito na yun. Bumagsak palalo. So, mali. Diba? So, in this case, si First Philippine Holdings, yun yung indication niya. Yung price, pababa na pababa for like years na. Tapos, nagkaroon ng biglang out of the blue volume spike. So, that may indicate the bottom. So, next slide is yung bigger picture niya. As you can see dito, yung arrow na yan yung may volume spike. Tapos, tinan mo, saktong-sakto, yun na yung bottom pala. Tapos, kung nahuli mo yung bottom, halos 100+% gain ka pag binenta mo sa resistance. Sa pinaka-main na resistance niya. Yeah. Solid, di ba? Anyway, ang next na indicator na i-discuss natin is moving averages. So, I don't know if you're familiar with other traders who are posting their charts online. May makikita ko yung parang mga squiggly lines kasama ng prices. That's what you call a moving average. And moving averages are basically used to identify trends. And they're actually called dynamic support and resistance levels as well. So, I'll explain later. And for me, in my opinion, price, volume, moving average, swak na for a trader. Again, actually, kung makikita niyo yung charts ko, kung makikita niyo yung page ko, price and volume lang ginagamit ko. Kasi may mga ibang trader na, I'm not hating on other traders for doing this. Kasi, again, nasa tao yan eh. May mga iba na, gumagamit pa ng other indicators like Fibonacci, RSI, etc. etc. Like, ang dami na nakalagay sa chart nila. For me, dami nagsasabi sa akin, ang linis ng chart mo Kasi price and volume lang yung tinitingnan ko. Tapos, literal, kung nakita niyo yung mga post ko, mga kahon, mga linya, ganun lang yung dinodrawing ko sa chart. I just wanna keep things simple. And this is just, again, my own opinion. Price, volume, moving averages, swak na. I even barely use moving averages. I only use price and volume lang talaga. Bakit? Kasi yun ang style ni Mark Minervini. He's one of the best hedge fund managers in the world. Literal, he's like managing hindi naman trillions, siguro billions of dollars. Tapos price and volume lang tinitingnan niya, di ba? So, simplicity is key. That's just me again. That's just me. Kasi marami kasing tao na nag-iisip na, okay, the more complex yung strategy, the more na mas mataas yung chances na kumita ako. Right? And dati ganun din yung aking thinking. Dati before, like, first time ko open ng charting platform, dami kong nakalagay dyan, price, volume, moving averages, RSI, ganyan. As in, sobrang cluttered na ng chart ko. Tapos iniisip ko na, alright, time to make money. Kasi pala, na-realize ko na keeping it simple actually works best for me. So again, it really depends on the person. So again, going back, moving averages. Bakit moving? Kasi since it is adjusted every time new data is available. So, yan ang explanation kung paano siya kino-compute. Sorry, excuse me. Next slide, please. Alright, so ganito ang itsura ng mga moving averages. So, hinide ko lang yung candlesticks. So, yeah, sinadya ko yun. Hinide ko lang yung candlesticks. So, makikita nyo, moving average 20, 50, 100, 200. That signifies the days. And as you can see, the less days na meron kang nilagay sa indicator na yun, the more squiggly siya. And the more na mas marami kang days na nilagay sa indicator mo, the more na mas straight yung line. Bakit? In statistics naman kasi, the more data na meron ka, the more na refined yung results mo, right? So, of course, kung 20 days lang naman yung data mo, of course, erratic yan in comparison to, yeah, to an outcome na 200 days ang pinagbasehan, right? Right? Makes sense, right? Anyhow, yung mga ano kasi, yung mga moving averages can be used as a buy signal. So again, the more na mas maliit yung data na ginamit mo sa moving average, mas squiggly yung lines niya and mas erratic yung movement niya. And the more na mas malaki yung data nilalagay mo sa indicator na yon, the more na mas smoothened siya. So as you can see dito, MA20 being the blue and MA50 being the green one. Yung MA50 mas refined yung itsura niya in comparison to MA20. Again, how is it computed? So for example, MA5, para madali lang MA5. O sabihin natin, day 1, 1 pesos. Day 2, 1.5 pesos. Day 3, 1.3. Day 4, 1.1. Day 5, 1.6. I-add mo yun lahat. I-divide mo by 5. Tapos yun na yung moving average mo. Hindi ko alam yung sagot kasi di ako magaling sa math. Basta yun. I hope na-gets niyo yung concept, pero ganoon siya.
So, trailing number of days, no? Yung past 20 days,
Yes.
yung every point.
Tama. Tama. So, 20 days, 20 days, 20 days, 20 days. Right? Gets? Okay. So, it's moving. Kaya, tawag moving average. Alright. Anyhow. So, moving averages can be used as a buying signal. So, in this case, ang tawag dito ay golden cross. It is when a shorter-term moving averages crosses above a longer-term moving average. And as you can see here in this stock, ay coin pala to, si Sun USDT. It is a crypto coin. Nung nag-cross yung MA20 above MA50, umakyat na siya ng tuluyan. Right? Next slide. Siyempre, meron ding pighati dito sa sa mga trading natin, di ba? May tinatawag ng death cross. So, death cross is kapag yung shorter term moving averages crosses below the longer term moving average. As you can see dito, MA20 being yung blue, nag-cross below siya sa MA50 being yung green. And afterwards, wala na, bumagsak na siya. Right? This is LUV, Southwest Airlines, yung isa sa mga airlines ng US. Anyway, next slide. Ito kasi problema when you're really heavily reliant on moving averages is it could actually really confuse you. Lalo na kapag yung stock sideways yung movement. So in this case, sideways yung movement niya, nagiging spaghetti yung itsura ng moving averages na yan. As you can see, nag-cross below, dapat babagsak yan. Pero tinan mo, umakyat pa ng konti, o di cut-toss ka yan. O isa dito, nag-cross above, pero bumagsak din eventually. So yun ang disadvantages when you're heavily reliant on moving averages. So next slide please. Ayan, ito another continuation. Ito crypto to before. May kita nyo sa circle na yan, nag-spaghetti na yung moving average, nagganyan-ganyan na siya. Di ba? Ano yan? Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Hindi siya efficient. Right? Makalat. So, ano ba ang best application ng moving averages? Again, in my opinion, it is best if it is accompanied with price. Alright? So, as you can see dito, pwede natin infer na kapag yung moving averages natin, by the way, this is 20, 50, 100, 200, moving averages. And as you can see, sa una, kapag tangled siya, pag mukha siyang spaghetti, it means that it is consolidating. Consolidating, again, meaning gumagawa siya ng trading range. Meaning, gumagawa siya ng sideways movement. Mga synonyms lang yun, guys. So may kita naman natin, tangled moving averages, tapos kita naman sa presyo na consolidating siya. So we could safely assume that it is indeed consolidating. But in the event na umaakit na yung price, and as you can see, MA20, nasa taas ng MA50, MA50, nasa taas ng MA100, MA100, nasa taas ng MA200, tapos yung presyo tumataas, we can safely assume that the stock or the asset is at an uptrend. Right? And the reverse is true. Kapag MA200 na yung sa taas, 100, 50, 20, tapos yung presyo nasa baba din, we can safely assume that it is already in a downtrend. So for me, that's the best best application of moving averages. So next slide. It is also used best as a dynamic support and resistance. So kanina sinabi ko to sa first slide when introducing yung moving averages. Bakit by dynamic? Dynamic kasi gumagalaw siya, moving. Kasi sa support and resistances kasi guys, may tinatawag na static and dynamic. Yung static, yung mga tinuro ko kanina na walang moving averages. Yung mga nasa price lang nakadepende. Bakit static? Kasi even if kahit ano mangyari, nandun lang yung resistance, nandun lang yung support. Pero itong moving averages, dynamic siya. Bakit? As you can see dito, gumagalaw siya over time. O dito sa first X na symbol, yan ang support dati. O sa second X, yan yung support now. So gumagalaw siya kaya dynamic. So I hope na gets natin lahat. And actually DocuSign, this is one of my best stocks of 2020. Nabili ko to at $100, tapos nabenta ko siya around $200+ na. So this is one of my alpha stocks before. And right now kulelats na siya. So yeah. Anyway, at the time, nung binili ko si DocuSign, Sir Philip, pwede po pa balik po ulit?
Yes.
Alright. So, at the time, nakabili ako dyan sa Breakout. Tapos, I wanted to add to my position. So, bumili ako sa mga pullback sa MA20. So, yeah, that's one of the best use din ng moving averages. So, anyway, moving on. Again, continuation. As you can see here, we are using MA20 and MA50. And as you can see here, yung price, may mga times na nag-breakdown siya ng MA20. Pero yung MA50 nag-hold pa rin naman. So it's all good in the hood pa rin. And as you can see dito sa latest na price action dito, yung both MA20 and MA50 broke down. So let's say mga moving averages lang yung basehan mo to trade. Mapapasell ka na yan. Pero kita nyo, nag-break pa. Diba? So dapat talaga hindi ka heavily reliant when it comes to moving averages or in any indicators talaga. Ang talagang number one na dapat reliant ka is price. Number one, price. Number two, volume. Yun na yun. Price is king, volume is queen. Kasi moving averages, ano ba next sa queen sa chess? Ewan. Basta yun. Basta yun. Whatever. Bishop. Right. Something like that. Alright, again, another use of moving averages. Again, pwede mo nga siyang gamitin as dynamic resistance. So for instance, bumuli sa mga breakout ng stock na to, pwede mo siya ibenta diyan sa MA200 na yan. Right? So, yeah, yun yung isang use din ng moving averages. And another use is ganun din. For example, bumili ka ng breakout yun sa sugar. Again, it's a commodity, literal asukal. Bumili ka at breakout, tapos pwede mo na siya ibenta sa dynamic resistance niya na MA200. So, ganun. So, next slide. Alright. Nasa tail end na tayo ng ating presentation. So, I'm gonna be showing you types of trading. So, konti na lang, guys. Anyhow, may mga types of trading kasi. And this is a really common misconception na kapag trader ka, ibig sabihin nun, wala ka ng buhay. 24/7, nakaglue na yung mata mo sa monitor. That's not the case. But, may mga ganun tao. That's what you call day traders. Day traders kasi, ang binabasehan nilang time frame is from seconds to minutes. Freaking wild, right? Seconds to minutes ang binabasehan nila. And within the day, they close all of their positions. So, wala silang hinuhold. So, talagang they're in it for the daily volatility lang whenever the market is open. And they look at the minutes and seconds na chart. Yun ang day trading. Ang swing trading, on the other hand, is mga traders na nag-evaluate ng stock or nag-hold ng stock for at least probably a few days to 1 week. Ganyan. So, medyo mas chill na approach kaysa sa day trading. And usually, ang tinitingnan na lang dito is mga hourly, 4 hours, daily. Tapos, ang position trading, on the other hand naman, is from weeks, months, or minsan 1 year. So medyo mas again mas chill yung yung approach and mas bigger picture yung yung atake. So for instance nga kung position trader ka baka nga may times 1 week wala kang trade kasi for you wala kang nakikitang opportunity na nakikita ng mga day traders ganyan. So it's really a matter of perspective like kapag sinabi sa'yo ng isang tao na actually wala masyadong opportunities ngayon. Baka it's his perspective as a position trader or swing trader. Pero kung day trader yung kinausap mo, sabi niya, ay pre, literal, kita mo ba eyebags ko? Literal pre, every second may breakout
May
na nangyayari.
opportunity.
May opportunity, even if as we speak, for sure may nag-breakout na dyan sa seconds na chart.
Correct.
Right? But again, in choosing kasi what type of trader ka, dapat nakadepende siya sa lifestyle mo. And, apologies, di ko pala nasabi yung investing. Anyway, investing, obviously, fundamental analysis, more than 1 year mag-hold. Sa madaling sabi. So, going back, uh, yung pagpipili kasi on what type of trader ka, dapat nakadepende yan sa lifestyle mo eh. Right? Pwede bang doktor ka, tapos day trader ka? No way in hell, right? No way in hell. Pero pwede bang estudyante ka, tapos day trader ka? Pwede?
Pwede naman.
Pwede bang, pwede naman. Cut-cut ka na lang. Joke.
Wag yun, wag
Joke lang
tularan.
po. Wag tularan. Ano pa? Pwede bang nag-work ka ng day job na 8 hours, tapos swing position trader ka? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, dapat talaga nakadepende siya sa lifestyle mo. Ako in my case, even if I'm still looking for for a job and I'm doing trading as of now, yung lifestyle ko is hindi ako tutok parati sa monitor. Ang dami ako hobbies. Actually, mahilig ako mag-play ng video games, mahilig ako manood ng TV series, anime, TV shows, movies, mahilig ako mag-exercise, mag-bike. Pero nakakapag-trade pa rin ako na maayos. Bakit? Kasi inuugma ako siya sa lifestyle ko. So, what I'm trying to say is, walang tama or mali. Hindi ibig sabihin na day trader ka, or may nakita kang tao na day trader, mas higit siya kaysa sa akin. Mas kumikita siya kaysa sa akin. Kasi that's not really the case. Kung bigger picture play ka, or kung macro view ka, for example, ako kasi position swing trader, alam ko naman na in the next 30 to 40 years, gagawin ko to eh. So, ngayon na nasa 2 years pa lang ako ng aking cycle, ng aking journey, I'm just getting started. Right? I'm just getting started. And and most probably I'll still experience some downs, some ups in the future. Given na ang laki ng aking scope, 'di ba? So, it really depends talaga sa tao when it comes to like choosing what type of trader you want to be. So anyway, next slide po. Ay, nawala.
Yan. Teka. So I think agree, no? So I think I wanted to highlight lang before we go into resources, Enzo, na especially also when you listen to friends nyo na nag-trade, kailangan nyo rin intindihin what kind of trader they are. Because yung statements na, may opportunity or wala, can vary depending on the style of trades, right? Kasi for example, like specifically for maybe Enzo and I, kasi parang medyo mas swing types kami of traders, like I won't really look at yung intraday fluctuations, right? Na parang hindi ko titingnan yan. Tapos kung US markets pa yan, edi puyat-puyat ka, right? Kasi sa gabi natin yun. So, if may mga ganong opportunities, depende kung day trader pala siya or medyo scalper-ish style of trading, then iba yung statement na sabihin niya, right? Sabihin niya na parang, may opportunity ako nakita and totoo naman talaga yun. Hindi naman siya mali. And some of them actually maybe are okay even with a few percentage points gains. Tapos hindi sila na nag-wait for yung mga double digit or triple digit gains, right? So, be wary lang kung kanino kayo nagtatanong, especially na I know typically if you're new to the space, medyo kayo may mga pinapakinggan. So understand ano yung strategy na yun so that you know kung paano ka rin mag-react with that information. Eh? Kasi medyo madami siyang paiba-ibang styles of trading.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, kahit nga tanungin sa akin marami bang opportunity ngayon? Ang sasabihin ko talaga, sakto lang.
Correct.
Pero kung day trader, baka sabihin yan, bro, pare, literal, every time meron. Diba? It really depends. It really depends. Yep. So, anyway, actually, tapos na tayo. Conclusion na lang, further study. So again, if you're really interested in trading the financial markets, I suggest na tingnan nyo yung risk management system, position sizing, which is related to that, mga trend lines and channels, price patterns, of course, more indicators like RSI, MACD, Fibonacci, etc. How to screen stocks, how to journal trades, etc., etc. So yeah, trading isn't easy. Marami pa talagang other factors dyan. And ito, mga book recommendations, and if you're really new into this, ang i-recommend ko talaga is Trading Code by Jason Cam. And wala pong any way or form na binabayaran ako kay Jason Camp to promote his book. But genuinely lang talaga, this is the best book talaga na starter pack. And obviously, after mo mabasa tong libro, hindi agad na magiging magaling ka. Again, this is just a starter pack. So there's like tons of books pa na you have to hit. Pero pwede rin naman na sumabaybay kayo sa mga videos, right? Na when it comes to trading. Kasi not a lot of people are bookworms or mahilig yung magbasa ng books. So yeah, that's all. Anyway, habang nandito kayo guys, i-like and follow nyo naman siyempre yung aking page, di ba? Ano lang. Pati siyempre yung page rin ni Sir PPE, di ba? At kanyang YouTube channel.
Yes.
So anyway, yun, parati po akong nag-post weekly, at least once a week, ng aking mga thoughts or insights with regards to the financial markets. And yeah, that's all guys. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Enzo. I think we covered a lot of ground, no? And guys, if you have, I'm pretty sure you have questions. So, actually, meron kanina. So, I'm gonna go back. Maybe we'll spend the next few minutes going through ano ba yung mga questions. So, I think maybe here is a more basic question from Earl. Kanina ka pala to. Sorry, Earl. Hindi ko nakita. Right? So, saan nyo ba pwedeng i-view yung charts and what platforms that are you using and you do recommend for, especially for newbies to use?
Alright, so segue lang, yung girlfriend ko nag-chat din dito.
Yes.
Hi.
Shout
Hello po.
out.
Siyempre,
Hello, hello.
bawal magsabi ng
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 pangalan.
tawagan. Bawal magsabi ng tawagan, guys. anyhow. Sige, Trisha, thank you for watching, ha. Anyway, saan ba pwede mag-view ng chart? So, there are actually two platforms where you can view charts. So, if focus mo is Philippine stocks, you can check the charts at investagrams.com. So, meron silang charting platform doon. And if you want a more general na charting software that would actually display US stocks, Hong Kong stocks, commodities, forex, everything, as in lahat talaga. Then sa TradingView, right? TradingView.com. So yun ang charting platforms na ginagamit ko.
Got it. So trading view for yung medyo multi-market, even crypto, right? They have crypto in trading view.
Yeah, lahat. Actually si Investa, meron din silang crypto. Meron din sila lahat, pero kasi yung nila, yung US stocks nila, hindi pa real time. Like end of the day yung pinapakita na data. But yung crypto nila and yung forex real time na.
Real time.
So yun, pwede rin doon. And yung commodities nila hindi pa real time. So
Okay.
yeah, if gusto niyo naman ng forex, crypto lang at PSE stocks, invest platform na. So yeah, that's all.
Got it. Okay. Ito, very good question from Aryan. Right? So Aryan asked na sa dami nga ng stocks available, right? Paano ka ba pumipili? Like, paano mo siya nakikita and saan ka quote tataya? Or like, ano ba yung mga bets mo in your portfolio? Kasi ang dami, right? And typically, yung mga sikat, alam mo. Pero like, yung mga Roblox, like, I never even looked at Roblox before you said Roblox. Or hindi ako mapapadpad doon. How do you screen those opportunities para makita mo yung potential companies or even coins to bet on?
Alright guys, ito isa pang golden nugget. ₱1 million worth information. Just kidding. 90% of the time, yung mga hindi mo kilalang stock, yung mga hindi mo kilalang coin, yun yung umakyat. And most of the time, yung mga kilala mo, hindi masyado ganun ka grabe yung volatility niya. So, for instance, sabihin natin Jollibee, di ba? Pag tinrade mo naman sa PSE yan, hindi naman siya ganun ka-volatile. Bakit? Kasi sobrang bigat ng stock niya. It's a blue chip. Pero, makarinig ka ba ng dito? Ganyan. Yan, mga magagaan lang yan and madaling pali pa rin. Right? And totoo naman, sa daming stocks na available, sa daming commodities, sa daming coins, literal, there's like thousands. US stocks pa lang, 7,000 na agad yung stocks. Paano ko ba na pinpoint ko ano yung mga worthy na stocks para sa akin? Unfortunately, it's another story to tell. Bakit? Kasi that's a more advanced topic. And hopefully, kapag syempre, tingin ko naman, invitahin pa ako ni Sir
Of course
PPE.
naman.
Sa mga gusto tumangkilik ng advanced pa, ang tawag sa process yun is screening. Screening. So, literal na, for instance, sa job interview, may screening process sila. Sabihin natin, ano lang, example na to, wala akong maisip ha. Hindi ako naging harsh. Baka ang screening process nila, big four lang. Schools. Ganyan. So, ganun din yung medyo concept when it comes to screening stocks. So, for example lang, I'll only look at stocks above MA50. Pwede mo ilagay yun sa screener mo, etc. So, ganun yung ginagawa kong case. Tapos, iniisa-isa ko siya. So, again, you gotta have to really sacrifice. All good things, are really difficult. Like ako, for me, tumitingin ako ng hundreds of charts every day. And sa sacrifice ko na yun, and sa pagtsatsaga ko gano'n, nakakahanap talaga ako ng market leaders. And paano mo siya na-pinpoint talaga? Again, even after this webinar, hindi mo talaga siya may pinpoint agad-agad. Dapat talaga you have to practice. And in my case, bago ko siya nagawa talaga ng mas maayos, again, di ako expert or anything. Siguro, masabi ko na nakaka-pinpoint ako. Kunyari, si Mark Minervini 100%, sabihin natin siya yung 100% na mark. Even if, of course, may times na nagkakamali siya, obviously. Siguro ako, nasa 40 pa lang, 50 pa lang. Siguro baka nagpapahumble ako ng unti, pero you get the point. Yeah. Parang what I'm trying to say is you gotta really have to practice your eyes. You gotta really have to practice trading using a real or a virtual account to really to get the rhythm sa pagkukuha ng mga market leaders and etc. And again, I'm really sorry kung medyo may pagka-vague yung aking sagot kasi it's not really the scope of this topic right now. Baka maybe next time. And di pala maybe. Next time pala.
Yes.
Yan.
Pero tama yun, no? I think that's a fair answer because tama si Enzo na you won't really know it, right? And I think it all also boils down kung ano ba yung strategy mo. So there are people
correct
who, like for example, like people nga nag-work regular jobs or long hours, right? And you really don't have the luxury of time to go over those charts. Then maybe sometimes at the expense of na hindi mo yun mahahanap because you don't have time. But I think as you practice and learn how to screen those stocks and opportunities, sometimes baka you can also stick to a certain portfolio size. So Enzo, I think ang question ko, right? Like kasi ikaw, you do this on a day-to-day kind of cycle. Like, pero kung, let's say, I'm a regular employee na may 9 to 5 job, sometimes more than 9 to 5, pero gusto ko din mag-swing trade, for example, meron bang portfolio size, like a number of stocks na ni-recommend nyo to begin with? Kasi it can all be very, very tempting na maglagay ka lang ng kadamakmak na positions, right? So, minsan, parang at the expense of, hindi mo na siya natitingnan. Like, personally, I can humbly say na dumating ako sa point na yun na parang umabot na siya sa 60 positions. 60 lang yun, so konti lang yun I think for you. Pero for me, hindi ko na naiintindihan kung ano na nangyari sa kanilang lahat. So, meron bang recommended portfolio size for newbies or what are your insights on that?
Alright, actually, again, apologies, di ko masyado na basa na maayos yung question. Again, Sir Philip, maraming salamat sa pag-bring up. Okay, baka magulat ka dito. Kasi, nasabi mo, right? There was a time you were holding 60 stocks. Tama?
Yes.
You know what? I only hold less than 5.
See?
Yeah. Why? Again, alright. Ima-mathematics na natin. Sabihin natin you have a stock that went up, tapos you only have 1% of your portfolio in it. So, kiliti lang siya ng port mo in comparison to having 20% of your portfolio in it. Right? Minamath lang natin. Do you guys get the point? But, actually, I really start with 6. Tapos, nagbabawas talaga ako, nag-purge ako ng mga laggards. Pluck the weeds, water the flowers, as they say. And, dapat kasi as traders kasi, hindi lang kasi yung strategies yung yung fini-face mo kundi, yung trading psychology mo din. Syempre, mahirap, kasi as a person, di ba? Mahirap umamin na mali ka. Di ba? Ganun naman talaga as a person. But in trading, dapat ganun ka. So, I have 6, tapos meron akong, let's say, isa na laggard na, hindi ako nag-hesitate na tanggalin na yun. Kasi again, water the flowers, pluck the weeds. Right? Tanggalin natin yung mga laggards, i-reallocate natin yun sa mga leaders natin. So for Roblox, malaki ang position ko dyan. Like 30% ng portfolio ko nandyan. Tapos nag 30% gain pa. So laki ng impact sa portfolio ko. Kung naka-over-diversify ka, let's say 1% lang nilagay mo sa Roblox, tapos let's say 30% siya nag-gain, mga 0.3% lang yung increase ng portfolio mo. Right?
Yes.
So, ganun. I start with 6. I think really depends on the person. Dati, nag-start ako with 10. Tapos, 5% position muna lahat-lahat. Tapos, nag-increase ako to 10% for the 10 positions para maging 100%. Tapos, slowly, gagawin ko na siyang 8, 5. So, dapat talaga may focus group ka, obviously, para talagang mas may impact siya sa overall portfolio mo, sa overall equity curve mo. So, again, sa madaling sabi, recommended ko lang talaga less than 6. Mas maganda 4. Kasi 25% eh. Para 25% yung ano mo. Tama diba? 25, 20. Oh, tama. 25, 50, 75, 100. Maganda 4 to 5. Oh yeah, 4 to 6. Yeah. Yung
So,
60 stocks,
madadami akong i-purge.
sobra. Sobra.
So,
But, merong sikat na ano na trader slash investor pala. May sikat na investor. Tropa to ni Warren Buffett na naghawak siya 1,000 stocks. But look, it works for him. This guy's named Peter Lynch. So 1,000 stocks sa hawak niya. Again, it really depends on the person. Pero ako kasi, for me, ang pangit kasi kung over-diversified ka, tapos may isang umakyat, sayang.
Yeah.
Sayang yung opportunity. Diba? Again, it's just my opinion. And it's up for debate. Pero, based naman kasi sa results ko na, of course, kapag mayroon ako leader, tapos mas mabigat ako dun, example, 30% of my portfolio, di mas maganda yung performance ko. So, for example, Bitcoin dati, $12,000 ko nabili, tapos add lang ako ng add. Guys, literal, 70% ng portfolio ko Bitcoin. O, di ba? Umakyat ng todo. Ang laki ng difference sa portfolio ko. Right? Kung 1% lang ng portfolio mo na sa Bitcoin, o umakyat ng 300% yan, di ba? From 12,000 to 60,000. Yung mga ilang percent yun? Basta, 30, basta ganun lang, maliit lang ang difference dun sa equity curve mo. So, yeah.
So, I think
That's all.
balance, no? Yung sinasabi mo na one is, kung sobrang dami naman talaga, like, obviously, up for debate, right? If you can manage all of it, then fine. It works for many different kinds of people. But I think also, as a good advice, especially for newbies, if you want to start, then probably the easiest way to start is to limit it to less than 10 na equities that you can really manage and learn from, right? And you can even not really go for yung mga ano ba yung parang next big thing or next potential breakout, right? Pwedeng you start with the more stable ones para maintindihan mo muna how the trends work, how even the indicators work. Kasi ako nag-start din ako doon na parang okay, maintindihan ko lang muna like even yung Apple stock lang na parang hindi naman yan nagka-fluctuate ng sobra-sobra. Right? And that learning, you can actually replicate later on kasi medyo nagiging second nature na siya to what Enzo was saying. Like, it took him, a year and a half to actually be attuned. And obviously, nung nagsimula ka, magkakamali ka talaga. Right? So, if hindi mo yun mamamanage at that level, na nung sobrang dami, then maybe trying to trim it down is a good idea. Actually, for me, and I want to share din para ma-learn nyo rin like from my mistakes maybe, na sometimes kasi yung human emotion mo na parang, oh, may narinig ako, sabi ni ganito, okay tong stock na to. So, maglalagay ka rin. Right? So, parang, especially now na may mga platforms na pwede kang bumili ng fractional shares, right? You can sometimes invest, $50. So, to Enzo's point, yes, may placement ka nga. Kung $50 lang naman yun, kahit mag 10,000% pa yun, maliit pa rin siya in the total scheme of things, right? So, I think what we're saying is, you will never get it 100% correct every time. Even after you learn maybe for like a few weeks, a few months, hindi pa rin siya magiging easy. And I think ito tama itong sabi ni B, right? Na it takes time to and practice and experience to really master that. And hopefully, this gives you tools na kahit somehow, number one, maintindihan mo lang yung charts kung paano ba sila babasahin, right? Yun yung key takeaway muna natin tonight. Pag naintindihan mo na yun, hopefully that gives you some level of confidence na, nag-make sense pala to and patterns do recur because to Enzo's point, we are all human. There is some predictability to our behavior, right? Na kahit sabihin natin na hindi, we do tend to recreate the things we did in the past, right? So may ganong concept. And then lastly, yung pinaka, I think what I took away from you, no, yung sabi mo na parang yung positions mo are like 4 to 6 lang. I think sometimes when you reach to a point na medyo solid ka na in the analysis na may tiwala ka. Because the flip side of that, Enzo, is meaning may tiwala ka talaga doon sa anim na yun, right? Kasi kung bumagsak yun, eh di malaki-laki din yung share niya in the overall portfolio. And I think what I took away from what you said was, kaya feeling ko sobrang diversified din ako dahil wala din naman talaga akong basis to begin with in some of those stocks. And I'm just really trying to bet blindly. So I think with those indicators, those other things that we can all learn, as medyo naging mas confident ka in the strategy, you're also able to focus. And as you said, I mean, doesn't matter if you have 6 or you have 1,000 na stocks. If basta confident ka dun sa positions mo, that may still pay out, right?
That's true. And ano lang, I'd like to add lang di ba may saying na you have to diversify ganyan. Di ko dinedebunk yun
Yeah.
Ang dinedebunk ko is over diversifying. Alright? Kasi yun nga, if you over diversify, sayang lang yung yung equity curve natin, yung gains natin when it comes to that. Ito naman, diversified naman kahit paano, 4 to 6 stocks. Baka nga from different sectors pa Baka may tech stock, may food, may etc. etc. So again, I'm not debunking yung concept of diversification. Dinedebunk ko lang yung over diversification lang.
Yes.
And again, it's just my opinion. Kasi si Peter Lynch, kumikita, 1,000 stocks ang hawak. And
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Correct.
That's
So,
all.
very interesting sa technical analysis. And guys, I hope na with the short time that we had, na you were able to at least understand the basics. So, nag-start tayo with the very simple, how do you even read this candle, right? That the Japanese invented. Paano ba makakita ng pattern somehow? And then, hopefully, you see at least kahit yung first three lang muna, right? Price, volume, and the moving averages, right? Get that basic understanding, and obviously, Enzo, I will take you on that confirmation. Now we can have an advanced session, right, for those na gustong matuto, because yun kasi na yung once you get the basics rolling, I think yun na yung medyo exciting parts. And obviously, you will not be 100% right all the time kasi again, sabi nga namin, kung 100% right all the time, dapat marami na tayong pera, right? And no one really knows. Even sila Warren Buffett, they don't really know what's gonna happen. So, we try to form our opinions. For example, I don't follow what Enzo is doing. I read the news. And medyo may blend ako of fundamentals and technicals, and that sort of works for me. I'm not saying one is better than the other, pero it also depends on what you feel na mag-work for you, right? And then lastly, maybe my last point before I hand over to Enzo for like maybe final remarks, is trading is also not for everyone. Right? And ito na-learn ko talaga because there are people, nakakakilala ko, friends ko, na who really put in time and money. Enzo, nag-enroll to sa mga courses. Na kinarir talaga, bumili ng mga libro. And then after some time, they really found na, the volatility is not for them, the uncertainty is not for them, nasi-stress sila. And they're not able to manage that. Right? Kasi medyo kailangan minsan emotionless ka rin when you sabi mo nga, when you pluck the weeds. Minsan ako kasi meron pa akong attachment sa certain coin na ayaw ko lang ibenta kasi parang nabili ko siya na sobrang mura pa niya. And sometimes that can hamper the returns on your portfolio. So, yun lang. If you try it out, there are many ways to try out using virtual money or maybe sometimes small money na pwede mong i-risk and it will not really damage your life and your financial status. By all means, learn. And ang importante naman is you know what works for you, right? So, in the case of Enzo, ito yung nag-work sa kanya na strategy and he's gonna continue doing that. So, Enzo, I think maybe I'm checking if meron tayong mga other questions, but I think we covered most of them. Maybe as a last bit of question na lang for you, right? Na
Right.
you're super super young, kaya mo ako pinupo. So, like, and trading is also, as you said, right? Mahirap siya, hindi siya madaling aralin. What do you foresee na, or what do you think about trading in the next 10 years, right? What would that mean for you? Would that mean na you will continue doing it full time? And then if you do want to do that, ano ba yung mga advice mo for new aspiring traders? What's your advice for them?
Yeah, actually, really envision doing this for the rest of my life, literally. Even if I grow old and wrinkly. Why? Because when I first started doing this, di ko naman din inakala na ito na yung magiging passion ko talaga eh. Right? It's just that na nakahanap ako ng sariling niche
Mm.
na it's not all about the money anymore. Parang ang saya-saya na lang para sa akin na mag-evaluate ng charts, mag-screen, mag-journal, at mag-post sa FB ng aking mga insights to help people. You know, I just really tawag dito, naging passion ko na talaga siya and I really really love the process, right? And secondary na lang talaga yung yung monetary na na rewards natin doon. And of course, over the next 10 years, yes, 100% magiging full-time trader po talaga ako. Pero sa ngayon kasi, since I'm still young, by the way, I'm only 21 years old, I want to establish an emergency fund din kasi. Kasi of course, in trading, pag full time ko to, wala naman ako emergency funds na marami. Bakit? Kasi wala pa naman akong trabaho, di ba? Kaka-graduate ko lang eh. Kasi, of course, in trading, hindi ka parati kikita. There will be times na, let's say, sa 12 months, sa 1 year, let's say, 9 months ka lang kikita, yung 3 months, olats. Di ba? Eh, sa 3 months na yun, saan ako kukuha ng pangkain ko? Di ba? 'Di ba? Pang electricity ko, pang grocery, gaya, etc. So, I really want to establish a emergency fund din as well. But obviously, I'm looking at jobs na at the very least are related to the markets. And hopefully, sana nga makapasok ako sa isang company na talagang trading talaga yung yung role. Tapos sana tumagal talaga din ako doon kasi baka kasi pag other roles baka wala eh, baka umalis lang ako agad eh. Ano na kasi, I'm really locked in with trading eh. Like, literally. Like, back in school. Again, sorry guys, wag tularan ah. Noong mga third year ako, nag-full talaga trading. Tapos yung school, sinecondary ko na lang. Third, ano na nga lang eh, third option. Baka nga wala pa nga sa main options ko eh. But again, why? Kasi I really knew na ito na yung magiging passion ko eh. And I really knew na ito na yung gagawin ko for the rest of my life. So kaya talagang nag-focus ako talaga sa trading. So yeah, the next 10 years, yeah, I'll be a full-time trader. Hanggang maging 90 years old ako, full-time trader pa din. Yun talaga. Again, why? Kasi I really love the process. So, ang advice ko lang sa mga new aspiring market participants natin is to, never give up and just to really continue yung grind. And sana nga ma-find nyo yung passion nyo dito. So, yun yung really need dito eh. Kasi it's gonna be really difficult at first. Like, there will be times na magiging olats ka. Ako, at first nga, when I first started trading, negative 20% agad yung portfolio ko eh, di ba? And, uh, things like that happen. Kasi, of course, nakakita ka na ba na ng ano kaya basketball player na isang araw lang nag-practice, the next day superstar na? Hindi, 'di ba? Hindi, 'di ba? So, ganun din yung case dito. So again, just never give up. And ito, another story na ipa-plug in ko. Si Mark Minervini nga, yung pina-mention ko kanina na he's been trading the markets for like 30 to 40 years na. 6 years, guys. 6 years bago siya naging profitable. Tignan nyo, 6 years siya hindi sumuko. Yun yung key. Hindi siya sumuko. May perseverance talaga siya, may dedication siya to really, be on the upper 1% na kumikita sa markets. By the way, di ako nananakot pero yun ang statistics talaga daw.
Yeah.
1 to 5% yata. Pero parang, para mas realistic, mga 1% of traders or investors lang daw talaga yung kumikita. And obviously, strive kayo na huwag kayo mabilong sa 99% na hindi. Diba? Doon tayo sa 1% na kumikita. So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. I think sobrang good summary yun to end the session, right? Na it really takes time. Like in any other skill, whether it's trading, it may be you being a nurse or a doctor, a lawyer, kung ano man yan, right? Salesperson, lahat yun requires time and skill building. So I think tama yun. I like the focus on that. So guys, I hope na this first clarified some of the very confusing terms and things in trading. So at least man lang makaka-relate na kayo every time may news or every time may movements in the markets, especially if you're getting your toes wet. Pero yung key takeaway talaga is yun. It takes time, it takes effort, and And the myths of papasok ka lang, kikita ka agad-agad are not really 100% true, because in the markets, there's always volatility and there's always a chance of you actually losing money. Right? So just bear that in mind. I like that Enzo brought up emergency funds, kahit hindi yun sa part ng topic, but we do advocate for that, right? Make sure that you have your financial foundations intact, na maging priority yon before you actually get into all of the hype. Na there are people na sobrang tragic, right? Na parang nag-ride sila dun sa mga Dogecoin hype, GameStop hype, tapos lahat ng life savings nila nilagay nila. So those are caveats that obviously we don't want you to do. We want you to invest responsibly, and make sure na napapangalagaan niyo yung total well-being of your financial life, as well as every other part of your life. Yun. Enzo, thank you for the time. Thank you for condensing an entire book for us in like mga 1 hour plus and answering questions. Thanks for our viewers who have been so engaged and may mga questions tayo na nakuha. And so, yun. Please follow Enzo's page in Facebook. So, Gagamba Trader PH. Just search for it. And he updates quite frequently, so you can also message him there. And then also try to really immerse yourself in the other resources then. And so thank you. I won't keep you any longer. I will just do a final few links and stuff. So thank you again, and I'll see you soon.
Alright, thank you
Thank you,
guys.
thank you.
Shoutouts sa lahat of friends ko na
Yes,
nanonood.
thank you for
Alright,
supporting. Okay,
alright.
thanks, Enzo.
Bye po.
Okay. Okay, so thanks guys for staying with us until the end. So again, if since you're here, I hope you can subscribe, hit the notification bell para ma-notify kayo for future episodes with Enzo and other people. I try to update the channel every week. So hope you can subscribe and like this video. And also, you can reach me through the website, thepesopro.com, or email me at hello@thepesopro.com. I do offer personal finance coaching for those who need help with their finances as well. And then lastly, just a few social media stuff. So if you are in Facebook, which I think majority of the world is, please join us in the financial literacy group. So that's the link right there. That group talks about personal finance, and you will be with like-minded people, including me. And if you have questions, we try to help one another so that we can build a community of financially literate people in the Philippines, and try to get everyone out of maybe some problems in finance that they are in. And this is also the link to Enzo's page. So that's fb.com/kagambatraderph. That will directly link you to the page. So just go there. Enzo updates very frequently, and he also shares some tips and insights. So that should help you in your technical analysis journey. So thank you guys once again. And this is it for our revenue stream today. I will see you on the next one. Stay safe.